Howdy folks, and welcome to another Taste of Gameplay video, this time for the German Tier 8 premium aircraft carrier, the Graf Zeppelin. So, just because I am engaged in this serious project of making a video for every single ship in the game does not mean that I can't have a little fun. And I realized quickly that nobody in their right mind wanted or needed a video about the Graf Zeppelin as just a garden variety aircraft carrier. So let's just get that out of the way quickly. The Graf Zeppelin is not a very good Tier 8 aircraft carrier. The planes are kind of terrible. They have some advantages. They're very fast, which means they're reasonably good for scouting. Perhaps they're good for spotting, but they have very low HP. The AP bombs are really difficult to use and don't do very good damage even if you get the drops correct. The torpedoes are all right, but again, the planes don't have very good HP, and the rockets are just kind of pathetic. They got nerfed really hard. The Graf Zeppelin's a very old aircraft carrier, one of the first, and the HE planes got nerfed really hard with the change to make all of the rockets have a delay on their firing time, and now they're just not good. So just get that out of the way. The Graf Zeppelin is a very mediocre, possibly even kind of bad aircraft carrier. But of course, that is not why anyone plays the Graf Zeppelin. People play the Graf Zeppelin because it is the aircraft carrier with the secondaries. And now, with the recent change, I guess it was maybe like 6-9 months ago, for manual secondary control on aircraft carriers, the biggest beneficiary of that was the Graf Zeppelin. So for one thing, they made it so you could manually target the secondaries, but also along with that change came a change to the range on the secondaries. So the Graf Zeppelin's secondaries used to be about 9 kilometers range, and they still are 9 kilometers range if they're not being manually controlled by the player. But if they're being manually controlled by the player and you spec out all of the secondary range and damage, which I have, then they go to 14.4 kilometers. Now, that's not exactly world beating, but it's pretty good at that point, right? I mean, you know, if you had a Tier 8 cruiser that had 14.4 kilometer range, that's okay, right? That's acceptable. The Graf Zeppelin gets a ton of secondaries. If you want all the stats and the data, you can look them up, but I think it's like 8 on each side at the higher caliber, and then another 6 or so at the lower caliber, an 8-second reload on the high caliber ones, 4-second reload on the low caliber ones. I don't know. The Graf Zeppelin is not the kind of ship you play if you are super concerned about numbers, because let's just be clear, this is dumb, right? This is here's an example of how sad the HE rockets are. They're the only tool you have for doing damage to destroyers, and they're just bad. Anyway, again, nobody plays the Graf Zeppelin for the rockets or the bombs. So is using the secondaries on the Graf Zeppelin actually a good strategy to win games? No, absolutely not. No, full stop. No. Anyone who tells you that it is, they're lying. This is not a good idea. What you're about to see is not a good idea, right? This is a bad plan. It's a bad plan for a lot of reasons, but one reason it's a bad plan is because as an aircraft carrier, this is not your strength. Your strength is not doing damage to enemy ships. Your strength is in spotting. And once you go into like full secondary, Conan the Barbarian aircraft carrier mode, I mean, you're not accomplishing your main job in the game, which is to spot and to use planes to spot. So no, this is a bad idea. Like, if you want a high win rate in this game, this is a bad idea. You have to just accept that you're doing this for fun. You're doing this for shits and giggles, and that's all there is to it. I'm trying to at least play enough aircraft carrier to here to give you a sense of the ship. Here's the torpedo bombers. They're all right? They're fine. I mean, you get 3 on each drop. The damage isn't that good. The torpedoes don't go particularly fast. The real big problem, though, is the planes have very low HP, just really low, really sad, kind of pathetic. But again, that's not why you're here. You're here to see a Graf Zeppelin use their secondaries on a battleship, and fear not, I am about to bring that to you. You are going to get to see that. So just, here they come, right? I mean, they're giving me exactly what I want, right? They're pushing directly into me one at a time. Now, in any other aircraft carrier in the game, I would not be here in this position. I'd be probably further down near J4, and I certainly wouldn't do what I'm about to do in the Graf Zeppelin, which is I'm about to hit the W key 5 times, and from here on out, I am moving forward in the Graf Zeppelin. Now, I will say, like, we've covered the fact that this is a terrible idea, and it is, but it's not like as bad of an idea as it seems. It's a bad idea, but like, it's not the worst idea, right? Like, if the Graf Zeppelin was otherwise not a bad aircraft carrier, I could imagine this strategy actually making a certain amount of sense. One of the things you have to learn about, you have to know about secondaries is you watch me, like, I mean, so the manual secondaries are so helpful, because if I had automatic secondaries on here, I would not be aiming at the superstructure. I'd be aiming at the core of the ship, and I would I would just wouldn't do any damage. I might set fires, but I wouldn't do any damage. For the record, by the way, we did about 10,000 damage to that Pommern. So is that good? Is that bad? I don't know. It's not bad, right? I mean, it's just like, that's all right damage. Yeah, 10K. Here we are farming damage on this Le Havre. I've given up on the planes, by the way. I mean, this is what I've decided to do now. Is this a good strategy? No, this is not a good strategy. But, we were at 19K, then we were at 29K. Now we're up to 41K. I mean, we're doing all right damage. Part of the problem is I'm huge. I'm super easy to hit. The armor is not good. It's not bad by aircraft carrier standards, but it's not good. I mean, this, open water gunboating in a Graf Zeppelin, no, definitely bad plan, right? Fun, kind of fun, but no, bad plan. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, manual control and secondaries. Yes, the adventure's over, but I took out the Pommern, right? I took out the Pommern. Believe it or not, this game is actually a victory. I got so many people chasing me and taking out that Pommern. I mean, my team, the players left on my team played out of their skull. So yeah, I mean, it's fun. It's fun. It's fun. Manual secondaries were a great example of wargaming making the right move. They're not overpowered. They're not even that good. They don't change the game in a meaningful way, but they are super fun. You get to aim at superstructures and actually do good damage with those secondaries. Yeah, I mean, again, I don't recommend this. It's not a winning strategy, but if you can get in a div, I think there's a great video on Jingle's channel where there's 2 destroyers and a Graf Zeppelin, and he does like 300,000 damage with his secondaries, and that's even before they did the manual secondary change. So yeah, today's video, we're just having a little fun, but that's the Graf Zeppelin and that's the secondaries. I'll see you in the next video.